All right. All right, I'll be back to use the restroom again. All right. The microphone. I have a new inspiration. You know, Ruby was very inspiring. Just like being invited in to see Ruby Land. Oops. Yeah, it's like it was just you put yourself out there like that. So that was like an inspiring thing. Now I'm in like a new version of inspiration. Because let's face it, Ruby's like some like punk rock chick, burnout, rebuilding herself and things like that. Where we can't really relate that much. But I found a new like YouTube style. Was a Michigan sports fan. And it's just him like reacting to watching television or watching sports. So this is this guy and he's in his couch, watches sports and snacks and drinks. And I was like thinking, like, I wonder is it somebody's is it grandpa, is it a dad? Very, very, very telling of a people you don't see anymore. And I was wondering, like this, like to turn the camera on, and then because he has more chatters than I do, and it's like a way of like kind of how many years of isolation. So it's like now the internet, YouTube, this guy has friends to hang out with. So I'm gonna turn my television on and see if I can find like NFL preseason game. Let me see here. There we go. It's like the views and even that community that I've like kind of stuck my way into. There's a lot less streaming. Maybe people really don't like enjoy streaming that much. Yeah. Me TV. Oh, is it Bonanza or something? Gunsmoke? Here's Fox. Ooh, sitting at the table takes match. Nelius Cabello. Oh, women college basketball? Louisville versus Wisconsin. Oh, college volleyball. They have college volleyball on. Oh, Saturday sports. That's right. But that wasn't NFL. Ooh, Dog the Bounty Hunter. And CSI New York. I might come back to that one. Ooh, Stargate SG-1. World's Dumbest. He's having like the commercials on at the same time. Makes sense. Ooh, golf. Let me go back and see which one I just... Hope for Pain Stuff. Oh, it's an infomercial. Okay, we have golf. PGA Tour golf. Oh, Wyndham Clark. It's like, where if he's like the Hilton? It's like if he's a Wyndham. There's twist programming. Oh, this QV, this Q shop online or I mean shop through your television.
Almost forgot. Your membership also includes
Shipping Wars.
to AARP.
Ooh, Columbo. Ooh. Hotel Barclay. Wow, you just kicked the door in.
Where's my wife?
Oh. Cop's wife is shacking up with a criminal?
Where the police? What's your name?
Sam?
Sam?
Samantha?
How long have you known this man, Samantha?
Last night, just last night.
Where'd you meet him?
Bar, in the bar.
What time is
I don't know.
it? 9, 10, 11?
The ball game was Thanksgiving.
Did you spend the evening with this man?
He said some stuff and I didn't know things really bad.
Shut your trap door, bitch! What were you doing before you came here?
Drinking beer.
He gave you this?
Yeah.
Oh, he has a pack of like cocaine. Well, it's like Ross Jeffrey says. You know, if you ever taken any like man classes, or Ross says, you know, you want to date a stripper, bring cocaine. So yeah. Oh, is he abducting women? There's a woman now. A scene where she's trying to take a door off the hinges from the inside. Well, I guess that'd be where if the hinges are outside, that'd be the one you. Well, anyway. Yeah, things have quieted down. Oh, I'm still trying to look for. I still have some channels to go through for preseason. Oh, we have AMA Motocross, AMA Pro Motocross. Okay. A couple more channels. Oh, soccer. This is Telemundo. Telemundo soccer. What's this? This is called Mind Network. H and I. Yeah, like 1970s and 80s. We're going back to CSI. This one has Ice Cube in it. A Raymond Query. Oh, this is Law and Order, huh? Oh, there it goes. I have those like little antennas that you can still buy, and it's like free television. With a little better reception. I have a big one. I have like one of the big ones, and it could be like more stations. I also have like a satellite transcoder or decoder, and this satellite dish that I got from that was designed to be put on an RV. It really makes me question, like, I have this like the RV antenna, and so I got this decoder box. I haven't learned how to use it though. I'm just gonna set up I didn't set off to just live in a pig hoarding pigsty. just over time, I was like, you know, I've helped family move. There was a time, I guess it's like well, anyway, there was a time I had family connections, and we'd go help each other, and well, I guess once you get in with the rich people and you can just hire people, you don't need your family anymore. I think that's kind of what's gone on, is that there's so many over the prosperous years of real estate flipping and in unlimited credit that they just didn't need their family anymore. If anything, it was just family is like, hey, what are you doing? This is a bad business. Just shut up. So I'm gonna here in a minute. I'm gonna go through my my finds. I was on Twitch. I Twitch streamed yesterday or the day before and showed my show and tell from the thrift store. I didn't show and tell on YouTube, so I suppose I can do that. I was drunk texting last night, and boy, these people are just, and they're just something about them. I last night. I was just said hi. There's a gentleman I see walking around. He's been here for years. He looks like he kind of looks like the half of Tenacious D, the ugly half. Well, I mean that's a judgmental statement. Anyway, there's the famous person. I should say the not famous one. See, Tenacious D is famous because there's Jack Black, the movie star, and then he has a friend, and he's funny. However, when it's like a TV cops, so I'm watching Law and Order, and I wonder how many of these TV people are actually the TV crime of being not PC. Breaking the TV crime, the TV laws. I just don't know. See, there was a well, what year was it? It was probably 2016. No, it would be 2017. Or maybe it was 2014. Trying to recreate the he's demented. Well, I could use a little help. So I think it was 2014. I go on this assignment to go fix some equipment for the military, and I'm on this base, and it's like one of the places where you have the special forces. I don't know if I forget now if they're SEALs, Rangers, and somebody had to sing the Green Berets the other day. I was watching a YouTube streamer that streams her music from the bars she plays at, and she had the Green Berets. And I was like, I forgot about the Green Berets. And the Air Force also. I met Air Force Special Forces people. So there are so many. Anyway, so I'm at this place, and they introduced me to one of the Special Forces, and they say and make a special note of like, this is Will. I just stand there, like, looking at computers and stuff, and I'm like, "That's Will." Yes, it looks like that's not the actor Will Smith, is it? Is it the actor Will Smith? Well, they had the actor Jamie Foxx in Jarhead. I saw Gary Sinise. That was like 2013, I think. I think it was 2013. I had a Gary Sinise sighting. He's Captain Dan from Forrest Gump. And he's also a kidnapper in like Mel Gibson's movie Ransom. So he has a lot of roles. He's one of those types of people. Or one of those types of actors where he's very established. And apparently there are quite a few of them that make a pretty good living. They're not the Tom Cruises where you see their name on it and it's like, oh. But even Tom Cruise is kind of, for a lot of them, they come and go so fast now. Yeah, we have an old movie theater, just dilapidated. Nobody's really interested, and I'm sure people are interested. But when it comes to the actual business thing of would it make money, you could spend $100,000 renovating it, and however much money to lease everything, and yet for the 5 ticket sales a day, it probably like $500 or $1,000 a day operating expenses. That seems a bit much, huh? Well, every theater, I guess, where it is just it's going to be different. But let's say that we have to make $500 a day in order to break even, and we make 30. How long can we make $30 a day when our expenses are 500? Okay, how about 100? So yeah, I saw Gary Sinise. He was like doing some USO stuff, and like he was following a general around. I have an old I have a cookbook. It's like cop recipes. It's from the '90s. This book was printed. I wonder where they sold it at. Anyway, it's recipes submitted by people who played police on TV shows. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I've had 7 views. No viewers at the moment. Still, an average. I've had 7 viewers since I've been talking with an average view time of 5 minutes. That's pretty good. For me, that's actually pretty good. So I'm watching the Law and Order here, and it's trying to do it with a more discerning eye. It definitely seems like it's filmed in a precinct station. In my experience with just I don't know. Ooh, another abducted woman. The day of Colombo, there's a woman trying to escape her room, and yeah. All right. Then the next one, I think, is CSI, right? Me TV. Usually it'll say what the... Ooh, the chick volleyball again. Bonk. Hmm.
Have you thought about a career in healthcare? Specific point classes?
When I was in high school, they had a Health Occupation Students of America club formed. Oh, hi Gobbledygookish. I'm searching TV for like NFL preseason, but I don't have cable, so I'm just getting what's over the air. So we have, what is that? This is the Fox affiliate. KMVU. Yeah, it just seems a pretty quiet time here. Just sticking around. Jeremy misspoke today, though. I want to clarify something. He said that she get paid $5,000. Well, the airline tickets are part of that package, So it's like actually, she has an email. Still $3,000 for hanging out for 3 days. Doing networking. Is that a lot of people don't really understand that. I've been forced here. I'm pretty sure you can. We have a little spaghetti franchise in town. Yeah. Yeah, Ruby's the star of our community, and we should really understand that. It's like being on the entourage is very desirable. Unfortunately, it's like a very thing where most people are broke, so I have to. Well, no, I get to. See, that's like how profit sharing works. When you make movies, and I don't have that thing, try and get somebody who's interested in anything. Try and find somebody who's interested in cringe, boring stuff, like movies, the histories of movies. And I have an MGM book. I have this. It was like 50 years of MGM. It's like each page it's just all the movies they made that year. It's just broken up year by year, all the movies that were made, and little synopsis of them and that type of stuff. And so you have this book. So I have this book, and I'm going through most of which never heard of. I have another one. I have another history book that came from the Academy Awards show, apparently. A souvenir thing down from the Hollywood area. It was 1983. It's like 1983 little thing of just whoever Academy highlighted, like famous actors, blockbusters, and award winners. So you go through it and you look at these things. One of the things, see, most movies, I'm not going to say they lose money. The money is not lost. It's been spent making a movie. Other ones, the blockbusters, the ones make a lot of money. Well, the studio made them all, and sometimes you don't know. You don't know which movies are going to be hits and which ones are going to make money. And so we have a lot of productions going on in the hopes that one of them will get traction. But since we're a studio and we work together and we have a common interest in succeeding as a studio, we share the profits. Now, there's a certain thing where high status individuals apparently aren't high status if other people have money. See, it's like Myron from Fresh and Fit, one of very influential, like Brian Atlas, and these guys they're for young men, they're like kind of an advice show. He says professional athletes, musicians, and actors in that order. Well, of that group, not only are they like very like strong, they also command, when you look at the contracts, millions of dollars. So they high status because they're athletic, or because they're professional athletes with millions of dollars. So it's the millions of dollars in cars and houses and stuff that makes somebody high status, or these other things. Anyway, says most people in my family, especially the menfolk, this is where Ruby's kind of, well, at one point she may have been the worst cousin. Well, actually, the worst cousin's name was Susan, by reputation. Then again, when people start getting a reputation, people don't actually know them, like Tanya. Back in 2015, I was in a car. I was having a very rough year. A very rough year. I had the year before. I had like a little adopted daughter. I was like pretend like relationship. I had like a tiny little family unit, and it was Christmas. And so after Christmas, my Christmas present was given to somebody else, and I got really hurt and offended, and it's just a humiliation. Like people who purposely, they just love humiliating other people. So I was pretty much humiliated at Christmas. So anyway, I'm with my aunt. I'm suspecting that the family knows more about like who I was living with, because I was like living with this woman, and there's no reason really should have been interested that much in me. And so I just thought it was like kind of like nice and sweet, and like a lot of people don't express interest, so I'm like the person you have to approach and ask. I've just been conditioned over the years from I'm not gonna say shot down. I just don't have those social skills, and then because it's awkward, other dudes and people would. Anyway, so just I don't really do or say anything because this hurts to be made fun of all the time. So I asked my aunt about cousin Tanya because the information I'm getting is coming from the realtor, the successful Dink realtors, dual income, no kids. That don't necessarily have the stresses that people with kids and stuff and have. So we have that part of the family, and we're talking about cousin Tanya, which I don't know. I mean, it's been like 45 years. I haven't seen. Oh, I'm not reading the chat. Sorry, gobbledygookish. Jeremy's not been very nice to Ruby in the past. You have to be nice all the time. Sometimes, well, I gave this very interesting old book to a person who can make more use of it than I really could. I read most of it, and it was basically a book written by the only person convicted and executed, tried, convicted, and executed for the Mountain Meadows massacre. It's a the little piece of Utah history that the starched shirts, I should say, don't like to talk about. There's a lot of wiping out of history. Which is anyway. So he said he was talking about the preaching of the prophets and presidents and the other members of the other high elect, or mostly presidents and prophets. I think because the Mormon, the LDS Church has a prophet and a president, or did they combine them? So anyway, I can't remember which one. But Brigham Young. Yeah, the prophet Brigham Young. He had an excerpt from the Deseret News archives and he says like the love thy neighbor. Brigham Young said they got it wrong. That if it's necessary to spill your neighbor's blood to correct them in their ways, and if you have to spill your neighbor's blood to correct them and give them a chance at eternal exaltation, rather than let them continue to make their fallacies, and well, how do you love your neighbor? So sometimes Ruby just got to be corrected a little bit. Got to keep her online, keep her on track. It's nice that you have a condo and a dog, but the goal is, I think, some other people like Jeremy and the Thorpes, we also would like to have housing. I mean, I'm in a state where I've only met my landlord briefly, like one time, and I think that they just like did a switcheroo, because it's very intimidating. So I really don't think that there's one Brandon that owns, like, I've been looking at way property, and it's smart. Like Airbnb investors, this house might have 1,000 owners. They might have done one well in subprimes. So you don't follow like the pre-streaming world. A lot of people I knew were into either making loans or getting loans and getting equity. So those mortgages that the lenders made. They sold pieces of them. Oh, stalking Ruby. Yeah, but That's where this camera. I mean, that's an interesting thing about having the camera on, huh? Hasn't live streaming been a form of like self defense? A lot of people don't believe they're stalkers. See, when I was younger, I would be like get crushes, and it was so rare. It was so rare. So it's like being nice to a person. Like when I was younger, I'm burnt out. I'm burned out. I don't have that kind of energy. And I get stalked more than I. Yeah, I'm actually not actively stalking anyone. I'm checking in on like what's going on online and like. Well, also when you have racism in the office, see we have a lot of racism at work. I don't work there anymore, but boy oh boy are they screaming. I can almost feel through the ether the screams and hate going on at the warehouse. Yeah, that's really interesting. Because I'm not familiar with the Thorpes. They're streamers, they travel, and just people trying to survive. I don't know if you know what Jackass is. Hey, Gobbledygook, do you remember Jackass? Oh, that's not a tapestry. Oh yeah, this... No, I'm an art collector. This is an M. Meyer original. Just one aspect of what I do. Just one aspect. Oh, with the camera? No, it is. There's evidence. There's evidence. See those people, but they're going to commit crimes where you're filming them and when the cameras are on. Yeah, the way I figured, we have so many like those. What are those cameras they've been trying to promote lately? Flock camera or something? Yeah, I think the streaming in the wild is just, and also then you're not quite alone. You have witnesses, and that's a big thing when the camera comes on. I don't know how many witnesses there are, Gobbledygookish, but I'll tell you that I think that was Sam in blackface. I think I saw my cousin's husband hanging out in New Haven when she was at Ruby Land 1, just staying in the background in blackface. I have hot cousins. I have like really. Anyway, you go look at those blonde-haired, blue-eyed, more BYU babes. I know you can. The other hair colors are pretty. You know, their eye color. Yeah, everybody's pretty, but there seems to be some like fetish thing involved. Because the world that I grew up in with politeness and that certain standards of behavior, it seems grabby. It seems grabby. Like where I'm from, I don't think like the Arab Spring where they would just grab. But there's some cultures that if you're a woman and you're alone, you're a whore. Have you ever heard that, Gobbledygookish? Have you ever like how much? Because we're multicultural, but how many cultures have you actually met? Because there are places where if a woman's walking alone, because he's stalking Ruby. Because Ruby's incredibly hot, wild. My goodness, did Gobbledygookish? Were you around? Were you? Probably not. How did you meet Ruby? Because I first saw Ruby when Devin Stack of Atheism is Unstoppable decided that he'd reach out because he saw she has 500 streamers. I think she only had like 500 followers. So yeah, I saw her in when Devin Stack was playing her, and he was like very interested. And Ruby looked way different. Ruby looked way different then You go back to 2018, 2019, whatever year it was when well, he doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore, huh? See, Atheism Unstoppable is one of those banned channels. Remember the Exodus where there people were banned? Yeah, Atheism Unstoppable, Devin Stack was one of those. Or no, Devin Tracy. Devin Stack is evil Hillary picks. Yeah. Have you ever met Scarlett Johansson? You know, the big Hollywood people, they do have stalker issues. Devin Tracy, yes. Yeah, I was saying, I keep on mixing them up to two Devins. They both done like really incredible work for the alt-right. And what's really funny is the alt-right were just like white guy Democrats. Did you know that? The progenitor of it, they had all these white guys who were feeling kind of like, oh, the Democratic Party was trained like really like anti-white male. I got a story. I went up to a training event, Young Democrats of America thing. It was more California Young Democrats Club. There are these political clubs, right? And so I was like in one of them. I got invited. I met a person. I was like 30 or something. So like I think we could be young Democrats up to 34, young Republicans up to 42. So here I was in my early 30s, doing activism. Doing volunteer stuff for the Democratic Party because my dad was a Democrat, and it took me a long time to come over to his like the polar responder and to not be your parents. So anyway, here I am. Where was I talking about? Oh, I forgot. Oh yeah. So I'm in Tahoe, and we have all these training events lined up in different classes and courses. There are high schoolers there, college, and then the group of us who were actually, well, some of them had jobs. Long story short, there was one particular day. We were having caucus groups. Now, caucus groups is like we have the big group, and you break up into little interest groups. They had Asian American caucus group, African American. How many African Americans were actually there? So Hispanic caucus group, the gay caucus, and so I'm sitting there, me and these other white guys who are about the same. We're 30-year-old adult men, and I forget. It was just me and one other guy. There's a veteran. Oh yeah, the veterans, the Democratic Veterans Caucus, and so there's me and one other white guy, and he was a veteran. He was the only other veteran. So I was like, my special interest is the Veterans Caucus. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm not good. I'm gonna bail on the Veterans Caucus. And that was probably a good decision. He went over to the Gay Caucus. He's like, I'm going over to the Gay Caucus. You know, there's more political like power there apparently. So here I am, just like the one veteran at this place, and like I have nobody to hang out with. I wouldn't write it if I met various people. I wouldn't write it here. Oh. You don't want to name drop? Yeah. Well, you know who I met? You know who I met after giving me death threats on my telephone? I met Jack Trout. Jack Trout's this dude who is like, I got a text one day, he is like very, well, it was a very small town, you don't know you're fucking with, man. I'm like, Hollywood. Oh, because I want to see your fucking trash-ass garbage. I don't want to see some big black fucking my wife and shit. I think there are a lot of people like that. So we just sit here at our cameras going, no, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a criminal, but things changed. When they brought The Mountain between us, with Kate Winslet in that, the greatest actor. Oh my goodness. I like, it's a person I really didn't know of. All I know is like the roles that this dude was getting, like was it The Tower or The Stand? That's right. Even because Stephen King, he was like, yeah, even though I wrote it, but this guy's a good role for it because they keep replacing us. All the scientists, all this. Now even in history. Even in history now. It's like Hollywood wants to make movies based on history. Well, maybe the story's not over yet. Faggots. So, what do you think of war with Europe? Like freezing all business dealings with European corporations, asking them to vacate the country, closing their embassies. Yeah. Yeah, California is a very diverse place, and all of a sudden we have some people here. Oh, the people I find most mad are the monolinguals. Person who can only speak one language, and they get frustrated. They get angry when they hear and they don't understand. There's somebody they're gonna audio. It's like the PA system at the high school. Wonder how many coded things whoever got the high school PA system. Yeah, the only thing. Well, that's right. So what do you think about just prosecuting them? Just the vacationers that came over and they're having a good time. And see, I've met one of these hopheads. I met one, Nick. Yeah, we were down. I was backpacking in South America, spiritual, educational, just to get away from the people here on a budget. Like I can't I have relatives that do 2 weeks in Hawaii and stuff like that, and for one day of that kind of vacation, you got like weeks in South America. Yeah, that's right. Nationalism isn't familyism. See, there's a border. There's a border between me and my cousins. Do you believe that gobbledygookish? Do you believe that I have cousins that don't speak English? They might speak Ukrainian or might speak Russian or some other Slavic language. Do you believe that gobbledygookish? That there could be somebody trying to incite me to kill my own relatives? That's nationalism. Yeah, and then there's the hypernational. Then there's the push to create new nations. Then there's like the new nations, because the United States a nation. Well, what about a state? What about if a state decided to want to be its own nation that didn't want to be part of the United States nation anymore? We got a lot of that going on. The problem with the state shutting its borders down is, well, I know my relatives over in the other state. Definitely feel like it. I was reading on online. There was a book written by the founder of the Benedictine order, or about the Benedictine order, and one of the things it said, monks are very hesitant to take new vows. Like, how did we get here? Like, how does one just wake up, I want to be a monk? Or does one, like, all of a sudden take oaths and stuff? And, well, oath keepers. Do you remember the oath keepers? Well, if you take two contrary oaths, I'm trying to remember the enlistment. I vow to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the leaders, and lawful orders. And that's what's one thing that says, obey lawful orders. And yet it's a certain thing for the average person to really contemplate all these lawyer speaks. Now that's like obey an order, obey a lawful order. But we don't know what the order is. So yeah, monk. There's another book I read about a guy who joined. Did he become a priest first, or did he join? Anyway, this guy was his journey. He joined the Gregorian monks. I think it's the Gregorians take a vow of silence, and he left. He became a priest, and later on married a nun. A former nun. You know, it's his journey, but from maybe he was a Trappist. Maybe he was a Trappist, but I think he was a Gregorian. So he lived in the monastery, and they had vows of silence. And for like 35 years, he just explained the routine, the kind of peace and simplicity of it all. Well, I gotta pay rent again in 8 days to a shadowy project manager who it's the amount of financial frauds and stuff. You see, a lot of things are HUD loans, and when they're doing an appraisal, I have a real estate study guide. It's complicated. It's actually complicated. In the HUD forms, in order to get housing and urban development loans, you have to do the paperwork. They weren't doing the paperwork. I have a newspaper and I was looking at this lien for a house up in the little avenue areas, and it's $370,000 lien. It's me sold at auction. And I saw a number at $370,000, and all I can really know about it is looking at a picture on Google Maps. No idea the state of the plumbing, the electrical, anything else about this. 20 years ago, these houses were going for like $30,000. I think the woman who originally owned the property I'm living in took out a refinance loan for $60,000. So the original loan against this building is $60,000. They're trying to flip, and it's falling apart. There's a tunnel underneath the house. I was looking at a map at the library of the cave-ins and mining collapses, and it's showing these abandoned mining tunnels. And one goes right under this house. And part of it does seem to be listing like it's sinking into the ground. So we have a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Oh, Mr. Stinky Brew. I didn't even, yeah. Are you what? So what are you? What are you waiting for? Like a compensation, medical insurance, disability? Yeah, yeah. Because I have more money. Yeah, I live like a pauper, dude. When I was growing up, it was the we had like there's well, my brothers remember this about like my dad making French fries in his like in his French in the deep fryer, and we put and having cockroaches. Like cockroaches had fallen into the deep fryer and stuff, so we had played like French fries and some cockroaches. We had one. I don't know how long we were making, but one day we were cleaning toaster and tipped it out, and a mouse fell out. Like a mouse had crawled into the toaster, and God knows how long we'd been making toast, just pressing it. This like mouse got trapped at the bottom of it, and so we had a mouse in the toaster. That was like we dump out, and here's a little burnt up mouse falls out. Oh, of faith healing. Of faith healing. Yeah, this is the problem. Everybody's on welfare. That's the problem. That's the problem, Mr. Benny's. That's the problem, Commonwealth. That's like Tony Blair said. We have a lot of useless eaters, and apparently it's the slags, the stabs, and the stabs seem to be. I have a lot of pity for them. Yeah, the most oppressed people in England are the English males. Women seem to have a great time. Oh, walking around just shitting in the street, peeing and shitting in the streets every night out, drinking and stuff with their. Yeah, it's I can watch enough through online news reporting, and then when you start seeing it, of faith healing, like get in the jacket. Who wants to be? But what if healing meant you lost your disability? What if healing meant you had to get a job? What if you got healed and then all of a sudden free money went away? We are in a very interesting. Oh, so you broke your knee and they fixed it badly? Yeah. Yeah, well, we have malpractice insurance in this country, and since that happened in a different country, I don't think there's anything like we can do for it. I know a guy as an author. I have his book on my tablet. I haven't read all of it, but I've read very little of it. It's very good writing. Well, anyway, I met this guy backpacking, and he had been living for like a year. He'd been living like a year, traveling the world off his, and it was even like a pretty nice thing. Guy's story is really interesting. Apparently, he walked in front of a bus. Apparently, in London, he walked in front of the bus, was confined to a bed for like a year, a broken bone, like body all smashed up, and he was in a bed for a year, and he was walking, limping with a cane. So he had been like struggling. Yeah, holiday. Oh, you know who else went on holiday? Chatters. What year was that? Was that 2011? Yeah, the Holidays. I saw English girl, a young English girl I went to Spanish school with. I was friends on Facebook, and one day Chloe's going off to Ibiza, the big party town in Spain, and then Chloe doesn't have Facebook anymore. She's just gone. It's kind of I have a Lacey Peterson dilemma. Do you know who Lacey Peterson is? Well, anyway, her husband's a murderer. Apparently, he's murdered a couple women, but he's so good at it, they can't find the bodies. This killer cop keeps on like killing his wives and stuff, and that was an interesting trial. That was, what was that, 20 years ago? Yeah. That's why it's like the whole like trying to like all this like innuendo and stuff. Yeah, Lacey. Well, I know another Lacey. See, I know Lacey, or my old band friend's a girlfriend. Lacey contacted me on Facebook. And she said that because her and her boyfriend were having a separation, and so they're getting separated. They've been together for a long time, but they cohabitating. Well, she so Lacey contacts me on Facebook, says she went on a Tinder date, and then like she remembers she had a tea. She thinks she was drugged. Because things get hazy, and then she remembers she's just like, the guy just put her in her car, and she was kind of aware. She said it felt like an out of body experience. So he's put in a car. They went to a gated community, like a really like rich people community with those big walls and stuff. And then she remembers she was laying there looking up at him, like trying to figure out what's going on, and he's just having sex with her. And then like she like wandered in the hallway, and the dude's mother was there, and she started expecting her like eyes and things, and she was just in like a zombie trance. And then she went like later on that day when she was like kind of back in herself, in control. She went to the police and had a rape kit where they took DNA samples and blood samples, because the blood samples, since there's no physical violence, it was the blood samples that would show if she was roofied or some other narcotic, if her drink would be spiked. And then, the police lost the kit. Now the thing is, like, now the evidence is gone. Well, the evidence of sex and the evidence of whether there was, like, there are certain types of things, like, why would a person do that to themselves? So I know a Lacey. I know a Lacey who has rape allegations against probably a pretty powerful member of the Church of Scientology. See, that's where those of us who've been on Scientology hit lists, where we really need to start working together. Oh, they're playing the Star Spangled Banner now. Yeah, there's the Patriot. Talk about nationalism. Yeah, what is Boyd? See, every time you say Boyd, I think of Boyd. I think of Boyd from Justified. I don't know, it was an easier time because I had employment. And I had a schedule, so watching and binge watching programs. Yeah, the Justified on FX. There having a ceremony to celebrate the VA funded trans confirmation surgeries? Whoa, this is a historic day. All those military people like who demanding the free transgender surgeries. Congratulations. We're gonna have a 100% LGBTQ plus a whatever. Because once they have that, once they can go to war as women, then we can start fixing things. We need to acknowledge. No more bigots. Yes, Stinky, it's called a FISA warrant for terrorism. See, because I won't shave, it obviously means I'm a Taliban. Because I'm not going to the barber. Do you need any more proof that I'm like a radical? I'm a terrorist. It used to be just drunk lumberjacks, people who were no longer allowed in the cities. It was too dangerous. See, without us all watching one news story, it's really hard. There was a time in the 1980s and the 90s. Oh, the evening news, you'd see some old white guy with a beard and stuff convicted of being a pedophile. Well, that was just a charge. See, when it's in the news, there's something about people's brains. He was arrested for what? Why didn't they convict him? See, that's all you need to do is arrest somebody, and for a huge number of the population, it means they're convicted. It means they did it. Yeah. Well, you see that. Somebody else sees that I'm still alive. Went to see the Odyssey. It was really interesting. Well, I have a book over that I picked up at one of the thrift stores, Army Wives. Yeah, I'm a recovering porn addict. I'm not a sex addict because I really didn't get that much of it. When I was a virgin, when I was like still like kind of that's looking at the propaganda and the narrative. There was a time in Utah that the guys would go on missions, and at 21 they would come home, and they married. Apparently, they married rather young, or that was the idealized version of it. But so we'd have these young Mormon or young LDS men and women, and the women would wait for their men. Their boyfriends would go off to missions, they would return, and then they would get married. Yes, and it was also wait to marriage for sexo. See, the waiting for marriage, that is a thing that I don't know. I don't know what their values are. There are some cultures that take this very seriously. That's why the Americans' behaviors in malls is very interesting. In America, malls are where you go to try to flirt and stuff. It's like that hangout thing. In places like, I went to a mall in Kuwait City, and they're more like the open intersex interactions. It's looked about different. See, people are different. In South America, I was walking with a group of European students and another American. But anyway, these guys walked up and just like squeezed the ass of one of the Swedish women. And the women love it. Apparently, the women love when men are like open like that because they. Anyway, so the guy walks up and squeezes a chick's ass. That's just normal. Now, if you walk up and like, if you're in a Muslim, if you're in like an Islamic place, and you just walk up and like squeeze a woman's ass, I don't know how that's looked at. Oh, hey, BB30. Yeah, I'm just watching Gobbledygookish and Mr. Stinky Brew. Do you guys know each other? Do you two know each other in real life? Gobble and Stinky? It's interesting, the people who only know each other through streaming and people who... I was watching Cinna. What was I watching? Who was I watching? Yeah, was it Cinna? I was watching Julia Kins. I channel surf Twitch. I channel surf this also. So I was going back and forth, and Cinna apparently knew Josh before she was a streamer. Like they just like they knew each other in previous non-streaming worlds, and then like one day they're just, oh, you're a streamer now also. Yeah, well, Stinky, if you need a friend, one of the people who is supposed to come up yesterday for his $10,000 check. See, Jeremy's not the first person and the other one's not a streamer. He might have a secret stream he doesn't want to share with me, because then I'd be like doxing him in his chat and stuff, or the worry that I would dox him. So anyway, it's the science fiction author turned movie director. Well, he had an unfortunate thing, and just for an hour, he can't stand up. He can't stand up, Mr. Stinky Brew. He hasn't eaten in weeks because of different things. He has stomach problems. Yeah, those health issues. I have a friend who you can talk to about your health issues. I don't really need excuses about not being healthy enough to work. The bottom line is, why? I've watched enough people go poor and bankrupt, poor working. People actually, for myself, there's no job that would pay me. Well, those government jobs, I guess I could always go back to danger zone jobs. But at this point, I wouldn't get a security clearance. Yeah. Or you guys want to come be monks? I got some numbers to break down for you, dude. See the Swedish government. Remember the Swedish? They've had a thing because of the immigration in their society, and the women just love it. So they've had national program to marry all the Swedish women off to foreign men. So like, if you're a young Swedish man, there is no Swedish woman for you in Sweden. That's why you have to come like be a gold digger. I hear we have some blondes. I mean, some gold in the hills. You just have to go find it. Because Swedish women and Swedish men, it's over. That's just official Swedish government policy. It's almost like a Sarkozy. So guys, it's instead of fighting over. I was at a place and we had a little. I'm telling you, I think they have a 21-year-old married to a 5-year-old because they're the only single women left. Like, if you come from a culture where as soon as you break that cherry, you marry them and you own them. See, that's one of the things about this game. They're very serious. If you get that cherry, that's your wife or your prostitute. But yeah. Wait, Gobbledygookish, you're a woman? Then again, the secrets of the nunneries. Yeah, I don't want to be one of those people. I gotta see. How long is he going to be there for? They want interesting things on a. I got into Supernatural, and it was very interesting. They had this one where they sit Shiva. It's like a Jewish thing apparently, Well, they have somebody and they sit with the body for 3 days. And hopefully people have family and they take turns. But yeah, when somebody dies, they have some cultures, well, just in case. They also have stories about people, like they used to, like in coffins, they put a little bell. Because it was so hard, sometimes people they would think they were dead and they'd bury them. And so they had like a little ding, 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 come dig me up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that type of. I have a rod in my leg. I have a titanium rod, and I can feel like where the. So I just, is it worth it? Is it worth it to have it taken out? But that would just be more debt. Yeah, I was. Yeah, people try to kill me. No, it's that level. But then again, that white genocide thing that White Rabbit Radio was used to talk about. Is it a cultural genocide? Is it actually? How can you tell who's a Jew or not? That's what I think. I think that's the big. I think that's the big. When you go throughout the past few years or history, actually, because apparently anti-Semitism has been around for a while, or just hatred for Jews. But that's the question. Who is one? See, that's an identity that I've never used. I get accused of it. I have neighbors and like, you can tell you're a Jew. Like, you can. How can you tell I'm a Jew? Are you a Jew? The only way I know somebody's a Jew. I'm Jewish! Oh, you anti-Semite! You're doing you hateful Jew! You anti-Semite! Yeah, the only time I know somebody's a Jew is when they pull out their magic Jew defense. Otherwise, it seems like they hang out pretending to be other people, sowing the seeds of hatred for somebody, imitating them, doing things to somebody, and then when they come for them, just commit crime with somebody else's ID card. My cousin Heather told me that I'm wanted for the murder of 5 people in Peru. You know how they know? Because they found my ID card at the scene. Mike dropped case closed. What was his ID card doing lying with all the dead bodies? Well, I was mugged. Is that my driver's license that I was mugged of? That's a pretty simple explanation. La, da, da. that's one of the things. I don't smoke inside the apartment. I have like a gazebo on air thing. That's well, I'm still in solidarity. Let me see. What have I missed? Yeah, that's a pretty gruesome. You know, I saw a football injury like that, Mr. Stinky Brew. There was a guy, Dupree, or maybe it was at Latimer. Anyway, there's really like he was projected to be a top draft pick, and he was running with like a 1 yard line, running to score a touchdown, and as he jumped, somebody hit his knee. And he's like flipping over, and his like the legs going like a helicopter. Yeah, I've seen an injury like that in sports. Yeah, there aren't jobs though. But what we consider jobs, the only job we really have right now is waiting. That's a big skill. Like that's a really big skill. That I got from the Navy is learning how to just wait. Just standing in lines and waiting. Sitting in auditoriums and waiting. Oh, I was gonna do my show and tell. So we'll start off with books. I purchased 2 books at the hospice thrift store. One of them, this has been there. I was looking at this a while. Life After Google by George Gilder. See, it's one of the things is they've locked. I feel that they've locked us out of our own institutions of learning. That the people who invented this stuff, now it's just being stolen. People who have the intellect to figure out what kind of freaking scams they're running, they're in danger. Nothing helps you understand something like investing in it. To participate in this new generational movement in technology, in July 2015, I became a founding partner in the 1517 Fund, led by venture capitalist hackers Daniel Strachman and Mike Gibson, and partly financed by Peter Thiel. Venture capitalist hackers. You know, I used to use a platform that the Thinkorswim trading platform, and it was TD Ameritrade, or Fidelity. These finance firms, they do a lot of consolidations and stuff. So one day it is bought by Charles Schwab, and like notification, my accounts are being moved to Charles Schwab, and blah blah blah. So I like made my Charles Schwab account and checked in on it, and they had sold all my stocks, like all my stock holdings. They just sold it. I didn't sell it. I just logged in, and I owned 0 shares of anything. Strachman and Gibson's modest goal for 1517 was to help a new generation of technologists reshape the incumbent system of the world. A new generation. They invent it all? Well, according to BuzzFeed. You go BuzzFeed University. They have the oddest. They have some of the oddest, like, interpret. Well, it's all stolen. Man, it would be all stolen, man. This is a real inventor. Let's circle back to it. Say whore. Say more. Excuse me, I didn't mean to disrespect you, Jen. Feel so. How can I protect my wife or daughter when I can't stand for more than? Well, you know, Stinky Broom, might want to eat that Dr. Ha Ha Long's piece of toast. You might have to fight those wolves off. You should have thought of that before you got a wife and daughter. You have a wife and daughter in a zombie apocalypse. Oh well, nothing I can do for you. I mean, maybe there is. I just don't feel like it. I don't have a wife or daughter. They were taken away from me. Yeah. Physical labor, construction work, bricklaying, plastering. Yeah. Your body's run out. Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, that sounds like a good story. Oh, it took you 7 years to have a kid. Well, anyway, but many such cases of long-term courtships. Many such cases of long-term of courtships. For those unfamiliar with the minor subplot of my stint as White House press secretary, Peter Doocy is a White House correspondent for Fox News. Our nearly daily exchanges were often pointed and lengthy, occasionally humorous, and soon enough people came to expect them, which meant they became news items on their own. I had my fans in line just as he had his. Why is he not famous then? Or maybe he's famous in those those people. So anyway, I haven't watched it. I was talking about Justified on FX a while ago. There's another FX program. I believe it's FX. Could be Bravo or something. But it's called The Americans. And it's set in the 80s. In which like two Russian spies, they're pretending to be a family. They have a kid together because like they have this the KGB put together this pretend family of spies. Well, the guy actually likes his life in America. He actually becomes like he actually likes it. Where his wife is in the mission and she takes lovers and stuff. So she's infiltrating Washington. Oh. Yeah, Stinky. So in 2008, I went out with the unit. Most of the guys were volunteers. Well, actually, this is no. I don't want to mix them up with 2004. So in 2004, was involuntary mobilized. This wasn't like 2008. I volunteered. In 2004, I was involuntarily volunteered. So anyway, I went out with these guys, and I'm 28 years old. I was 28-year-old E4. I kind of felt like a little loser. Well, I was actually one of the youngest men there. That the average age, apparently, of this unit was a reserve unit of Philadelphia or Pennsylvania. The average age was like mid-40s or even 50s maybe. So many guys with like degenerative back problems. A lot of them were unemployed coal miners. So yeah, the laborer man, you actually have a lot of people who have very similar things. Now this isolation, I find that fellowship groups and meeting in person with people with the same, a lot of people don't want to meet somebody with the same or worse problems. That's what I found is that people like, I'm so bad. Well, this person's worse. That guy's head of the line privileges. Maybe you should talk to him. He doesn't even have a happy life. Harsh but true. Give everyone I was recommended the stream. You okay, Tommy? I'm not in the mood. Seems like you in the mood to vent. Is that Master Sergeant Sanchez? I don't know, Tommy. We have some really interesting circles forming up. There was being on Facebook. We had trainings years ago because it was kind of new, this online social media thing. A lot of the older generation didn't get it, and they started having security things. They're like, "Oh my goodness, these soldiers are putting their Facebook posts." Well, the enemy might use Facebook to stalk us. That was our training. That's what they told us. They said we put our personal information online. They have so many that the people we're at war with have so many people in the United States. They'll hunt us. 2004, we went through this. We had this briefing. Anybody been through their DICE meeting about removing your return addresses from your mail? About trying to keep where your family lives secret because they have people in the United States who will. Oh, they had it. They'd call them. They'd torture them mentally. They would call up people's spouses and tell them they were killed in action and stuff. They would do stuff just to fuck with them. I don't know. Isn't that well, the Marine? See, I have on Facebook. I have V. Hugo Sanchez. I have a connection on Facebook. V. Hugo Sanchez. I don't know what rank. It's just a Marine. But if you get field promoted because there's no one left in our unit. It's also part of the code of conduct level B. I have a movie here, Cold Witch Report. If we find ourselves in a POW camp, we're to maintain order. First comes rank. First we designate people by rank, and we know our training. We organize ourselves by rank, and then service. Right now, just consider yourselves POWs. Consider that the American government's fallen. That there is no law and order. That they have so many, I have Red Dawn 2012 where the North Koreans invade. I recognize some of those dudes. So let's just pretend that our government's fallen, the military is if you're not getting paid, like the fall of the Berlin Wall, when a bunch of communists woke up and their form of economy was just gone, that they're no longer getting paid. So we have to make those decisions. Yeah, Mr. Stinky Brew. There's our resentment. There's the percolating resentment. Why is somebody with 6 kids still on the market making more? See, that's where a lot of socialism stuff comes from. My roommate was a single mother, and she told me how hard it was. That she's beautiful. Guys would flirt with her and hit on her. As soon as they found out she had a kid, they would start losing interest. That's expensive. Although maybe I don't know if a couple of those kids are mine, Matt. Hey Matt, you deny that all 6 of them are yours? Well, Robin said they like to see Matt go, and they like to see me come. It's just well, Matt had the Matt that we used to hang out with had he was really good in shape, athlete and everything. So the women just really liked looking at Matt's ass. When Matt would turn around, all the women would just watch his ass as he waddled away, and and I'm just come for the entertainment. Who is a junkie or was a junkie? Because by that definition, Mr. Stinky Brew, I am a junkie. You understand? You're talking to junkies. You could come into a room full of junkies and just start shaming us like this. Really, you're going to come into a room full of junkies, murderous, insane junkies going through withdrawals, and just start you're brave. But at least you're motivated. Are you going to motivate us? Are you going to motivate us to not be junkies anymore? Yeah, Kyle, that sounds like Elon Musk. Last report I heard, Elon Musk had 8 kids. And then also Lady Blagg of Ohio. Blag Manor. She tells me gossip. Oh, she did that. Why Holly? Did you disappear her? Anyway, apparently there's a guy who just has an impregnation fetish. They have in the porn world you can do hashtag impregnation. There's apparently this guy his thing is just to impregnate as many women as he can. It's like a fetish. Yeah, it goes back. Well, I understand because when I was growing up, psychedelics will break your brain. Once you find out somebody's done LSD, they're crazy. One time, and they're crazy. No, what I think it is, I think there are so many healers with the fun drugs that what's made crazy is that they're worried we'll see them. The word that we're gonna come back and we're gonna see the party guys, because it is like the Odyssey. It is. I was deployed. And apparently Good Time Charlies and stuff, Tiptoe Toms, Good Time, all these different names for that character. Well, apparently he's been like having a good time, turning all the women out and drugs and shit. All the desperate housewives waiting for their husbands. Just the deployment never seems to end. And he's like, "Hey, how about you smoke some of this and relax? Oh, baby, your man don't care for you. Why would he be out of order for so long? Come here, baby. Oh." Yeah, some people got their spouses because when half the guys are in prison, another half are in war. I had a really uncomfortable. There were a couple tatted up dudes at the diner next to me, and I'm just like really. And you see, and they had those prisoners. Oh shit, they're convicts. They're convicts, and they've been released. Just like, well, I at one point I was like lock them away and throw away the key. I was hardcore with Law and Order. Crimes are crime. So I mellowed out because eventually, when you're like demanding people get punished all the time. Right, Mr. Stinky Brew. What kind of commie is he? What kind of commie? Is he a commie that works with his fellow workers, or is he a lollygagger? See, I understand why it is Mr. Stinky Brew with the leg, right? Yeah, I understand that Mr. Stinky Brew can't do his shift in the mine. Well, this is the fun part of communism, to figure out why your fellow workers aren't working. Fellow workers. Well, I suppose if the communists aren't going to pay us and just expect us to work for free. Oh no. Yeah. What kind of inside information do you have on Tommy? Hey Tommy, what kind of inside information does Mr. Stinky Brew have on you? Mr. Stinky Brew, are you ready to testify? Tommy? TK, did you beat up Mr. Stinky Brew? Well, it's like, I don't know what if you just live in a communist country? What if you just live there? Just because you live in a communist country doesn't mean you're a communist, right? Does it mean you don't have to work? Yeah. Yeah, I made fun of Jeff Arena for having long hair. But then again, he's just visiting. When Jeremy leaves, I'm trying to get back up in the mountain with the other lumberjacks. I'm just a bunch of losers sitting around. Whatever. Well, there are people that never work also. That's the problem, Mr. Stinky Brew. If you're going by who never works, then we can go someplace. I too am interested in rich people who've never had jobs. I too am very interested in how people never have jobs and never work and live so much better than the working class. You're on to something. Maybe I'm confused. Let you need work to do something. Oh, then off to the re-education camp. That's so. Those are nice thought experiments, but that requires like an organized society, and the one I'm living in is falling apart. Well, who gets to be the guards? Why don't you just live like a pauper, Mr. Stinky Brew? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I believe that you have physical disabilities. We had a guy who every time he tries to leave, he gets blown up. Every time he tries to saves up a nest money for investments, and some bad accident happens to him. How much family do you have around? Hey, Mr. Stinky Brew. Where do you live in England? And if so, how many families do you have? I don't know. He probably thinks I can help him. Or at least, or just wants somebody to sympathize. He's not a loser. He just can't work. We're down where my brother lives. It's just one of those things where it's pointless. You ever hear that song? You ever don't take your love to town? Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Yes, it's written from perspective of a war veteran of an Asian war, and he's crippled. He wants to be normal again too, but he's bedridden with his injuries, and his wife is going down to town to find a well. My brother's in a. Hold on a second. Jeremy got this picture, so I should be able to pull it up real fast. Just sharing a little bit the other day of. There he is. I don't know if you can see it's a little bit so you can't see the air tube. See, my brother's been like that for a decade. He's been bedridden, and he gets showered on Thursdays. I don't know how often a day they clean his diapers. Well, he doesn't have a diaper. They just have it like a sheet, and he poops and pisses, and they come clean it up. Bed sores occasionally, broken leg, massive head trauma. He also had like a daughter and stuff. So it's like empathy. You're still able to communicate with the world. Adam can't. See, I really believe there are forces in our countries that are targeting us. See, I was laid out 4 years ago. Has it been 4 years? Yeah. Over 4 years ago, I was walking home from a little pub, and these guys had followed me out, were waiting for me. They had their cell phone. One guy had the cell phone. He's videotaping it. Yeah, they're just thrill killing. See, they can get away with it. That's how powerful and how far it goes into our government's trying to kill us. Well, if we won't work, right? Yeah, so the director of that movie, he's he said he got beat up on Thursday. But in his case, he's alienated so many of his friends. See, in 2004, there's an independent movie, pretty much friends and fans. Him and his friends, they had an apartment. They just filmed on whatever kind of little camcorder or something, a movie. Very low budget, grainy. It's just young men and women having fun, making a movie, hanging out. And the synopsis was Adam was haunted. He's the only one who could see the ghost that a drug dealer had died in that house. See, that was the story. That the house, the apartment was haunted by a dead drug dealer that only Adam could see. So I'm pretty sure the director, most people in my neighborhood have like, it's an I'm not gonna say it's an easy thing, but if you want to like just go out today, is go get some product and go try to sell it. Fortunately, we have so many drug dealers. I don't know if we have more drug dealers or drug addicts right now. I think we have more drug dealers than drug addicts at the moment, and especially drug addicts with money. Now, if you find somebody with money to buy your drugs, yeah. Huh. Well, I mean, Snoop Dogg is a self-admitted pimp. I mean, I've learned more about the pimp game from Sugar Free, but Snoop Dogg was was very, very popular for a long time. We actually have Snoop Dogg potato chips. Now that's the problem, because the old popular people, they're not as popular as they used to be. And I think they're especially delusional, where it's like oh man, they do it, that's so cool. It's like I've got 50, like it's like the Tony Hawk. I remember the skateboarders. Hey kids, let's go to the X Games. I'm watching. Let's turn on motocross again. But there was a time they were celebrities. They were celebrities. I have where's that picture? Oh, here it is, right where I need it. This is the Davis Skate Park. Opening of Davis Skate Park, April 4th, 1992. So what is that? 34 years ago? Man, these guys used to get all the game. Oh, the skateboarders? Now, I wonder how many old skateboarders are still trying to get their endorsement deals. Or still hang at the high school. Hey, girl! Do you want to drop the zero and get with the hero? Yeah, I'll talk to you later. That is a problem. That when you have that cross between intimacy and it's nice. It's like a conversation. That's how I look at this. Is they talk about Zoom calls, like Zoom calls and face calls. That's why I consider this. This is just without realizing it. This is video telephone calls, right? You could be listening to me doing audio on a radio, but instead you can see me, and it's real life. It's like live action. Back in 2008, my uncle had moved to where was he living? Was he living in Ohio? Anyway, I forget where he was living at, but he got Skype, and he's like, we can do video calls on Skype. That was a long time ago. Never made real use of it. I'm saying it's what Mr. Stinky Brew to like. So my family thing revolves around my crippled brother, and all your complaints. Well, if he could talk, he'd probably have the similar complaints. We might all have some stinky brews. I was watching old men. I was at this diner, and you could tell the way that a lot of these old guys just, their bodies are broken down. They probably want to be young again too, and they want to help. However, when it comes to ages and stuff, in the United States, the core demographic of, well, thanks, dual income, no kids, real fun until they're looking for family to help. Where's all our family? Well, you sold our houses, bitch. You kept flipping. You like any type of family assets. Instead of sitting down because it's a girl boss. Bucky Lasik. Yeah, so I mean that's what makes men dangerous, because their families have been attacked. How many lone ravenous wolves? Well, anyway, I'm gonna stop streaming here. I haven't heard any. I'm looking at my numbers have dropped to 8. I have like red. My little transmission bar, it says like signal. It's like really one little bar in red. 12.2% drop frames. People seem to enjoy this and me talking. So anyway, Mr. Stinky Brew, Tommy King, B3. You just kind of said hi and haven't talked really that much. And Gobbledygookish, thank you for dropping in. If any of you have any like contact with Ruby, please tell her to call me. I'm really good at not like just. They're 20, 30 years ago. Let's see, 30 years ago. When was the most embarrassing? When a girl said she didn't want to talk to me and just kept on calling over and over and over again. So like 27 years ago. I understand that kind of fear. You get that type of dude. I'm an old broken man who's looking to do business as a junkie myself. I can understand other junkies who have cleaned up, because, well, we are dominated by lying hypocrites and people who just want to control us and abuse us. Any excuse to make us work for them. So anyway, I'm going to take off, everyone. Thank you.